in Chicago.
It responds to the power of your voice. It lets you focus on the road ahead.
OnStar Personal Calling.
Call Commissioner Gordon.
With the safety of hands-free dialing, you can concentrate on more important things, like driving.
Gordon here. I'm on my way.
You could win a walk-on part in the next Batman movie or an OnStar-equipped vehicle. Go to OnStar.com.
You can slow down investing. You can stop investing entirely.
There was one man who had a funny hat.
But you can't stop curious toddlers from one day becoming college freshmen.
And there was a small man that someone put him in a bird cage.
Which is why your Morgan Stanley financial advisor will never let you lose sight of what you're investing for.
And
there's a time when this thing was sweet. I'm not sure when exactly. But now this relic is, shall we say, past its prime, sort of like your old computer. Right now, you can upgrade to America's favorite PC, a complete Dell system with an Intel Pentium 4 processor for just $7.99. Dig it. Oh, you're the more mobile type, not a couch potato. You can get a Dell notebook with an Intel Pentium 3 processor for $11.49. Check this out. Right now, you'll pay nothing for 90 days. Getting a Dell is so easy. All you gotta do is call or go online, and the Dell folks will help you build the computer that's right for you. Yep, a Dell desktop for $7.99 or a notebook for $11.49. Well, don't just sit there. At these prices, you can get a Dell with what you find right here. Dude, you're getting a Dell. Easy to buy, easy to own, easy as Dell.
Now, back to Atmospheres. Here are your hosts, meteorologists Jim Cantori and Mish Michaels.
A cruise can be a dream vacation. Sailing on the open sea, visiting the exotic location. It's an adventure of sorts.
But that dream vacation can turn into a nightmare if you hit bad weather. A storm out at sea leaves the ship without shelter.
Advanced forecasts are the key. Weather Channel meteorologist Christina Abernathy saw firsthand how the crew of a luxury liner works hard to make sure it's smooth sailing for all the passengers.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention. Muster stations, in the event of a real emergency, or whatever the emergency signals are given, is the place in which you must come immediately wearing your life jacket.
It's not the first thing I thought of when I pictured being on a cruise.
You adjust a snug fit by pulling the free end of the strap.
But maritime law requires a lifeboat drill before any cruise ship can leave the dock.
At regular intervals, officers of the United States Coast Guard test the efficiency of our crew and also all of our emergency.
When the Carnival Victory took its inaugural trip from Miami to the Bahamas, I learned what to do in an emergency, because even a 102,000-ton vessel like the Victory is susceptible to weather on the high seas.
After you had boarded the boat and the raft, it would be lowered into the water.
The lifeboat drill was just the beginning of my lesson about smooth sailing. But for most passengers, it was the only thing standing between them and their vacations.
Right when the boat drill's over, I basically say, ladies and gentlemen, this is the signal the lifeboat drill is now over. And I always go, yay! I always give that, because then it just turns it. Then you get them to drop their life jackets off in the cabin, make their way to the outside decks, and that's when the party begins.
Director Corey Schmidt is in charge of the party on the Victory. He organizes everything from limbo contests to hairy chest competitions. Schmidt knows a lot of passengers go on cruises for the deck life, sunny days, and plenty of lounge chairs. Still, he doesn't get overly concerned about a stormy day or two.
Mother Nature's Mother Nature. You can't affect the way that she's going to react. And the only thing that you can do is you can affect it the way you're going to react of the situation with the weather. So, another round of applause. Excellent job!
When the rain falls, the fun simply moves indoors. From talent shows to jazz concerts to an onboard casino, the guests have plenty of alternatives to suntan. On our cruise, you could say we hit the weather jackpot. But no matter how the chips fall, the crew always has a backup plan.
I'm sitting right next to a retractable dome that goes over our pool. I mean, if it starts to rain in the back pool, we cover it up over the jacuzzis, and you can still go and relax by the pool as well and not even get a drop of water on you.
Weather like this is perfect for cruising. It's sunny, it's breezy, a great day to get a tan. But it wouldn't be this comfortable without some careful planning from the captain.
Steering 284, Beach 3.
Captain Salvatore Rossello has two priorities as he guides the 893-foot Victory across the open seas: safety and comfort. He says the ship could likely withstand a hurricane, but the passengers wouldn't be guaranteed a good time.
Starboard 20.
Rossello tracks storms at sea using information from sources like the National Hurricane Center. Then he decides whether to stay on course.
The forecast is for Keith to be here right around Tuesday.
The Carnival home office in Miami tracks storms as well. When the ship called Celebration made its first trip out of Galveston, Texas in September 2000, it ran into trouble with Hurricane Keith. The hurricane looked like it was headed for the Yucatan Peninsula at exactly the same time as the cruise ship.
I think basically for this cruise, we've got to stay out of this whole region. So if we stay out of this region, coming from Galveston, we're kind of limited on where to go.
Instead of sailing south to Mexico, the Celebration stayed out of the way by heading east to the coast of Louisiana.
Really, the only place that I think our guests will have a good time would be New Orleans.
Anytime a hurricane is predicted to be within hundreds of miles of a cruise ship destination, the captain contacts the command center set up on land. Together, they figure out a new itinerary.
We have to find open space in the different ports, and there's a lot of going back and forth, and, well, how fast can you get to this port? What's your speed from here to there? What's the distance?
Avoiding hurricanes is easy for Captain Rossello. It's the smaller weather phenomena that take up most of his time. Strong winds, tides, and currents can push the vessel off course. That's a problem if the ship is near land.
These ports like Nassau, as you can see, the channel to get in and out is very narrow, and I got to stay inside the middle of the channel with this size of the ship.
If the ship veers out of the channel and hits ground, the consequences can be major.
I don't want to see that. If you go aground, you touch rocks and you make damage.
Out at sea, one of the biggest obstacles is fog. It's not a problem in the Caribbean, but it's a major issue in the North Atlantic.
Fog, I'm concerned because you don't see in front of you, and when you don't see, it's not a good thing. It's like you're blind. And so you have to rely on the instruments, like radars.
Rossello has been relying on instruments and instincts for more than 15 years with Carnival. He's accustomed to weather surprises, but experiencing weather on a ship was new for me. On my first night at sea, the Victory caught the tail end of a cold front. It took me a while to find my sea legs.
We had about 45 knots wind with 15-foot waves. The ship was rocking a little bit, but was not that bad. We still operate as much as we can.
For most passengers, finding sea legs is just a matter of adjustment. But for some people on board, it's a work of art.
I love to carry a tray, especially when it's full and the boat is rocking. I feel like I'm in disco and then dancing and something.
Donna Guardiola is one of almost 600 crew members in the food and beverage department of the Victory. Instead of complaining about the motion of the ocean, this waitress makes fun of it.
Here we go again, we're dancing again, and everybody's laughing, even the guests laughing, and they enjoyed it. It's amazing for them.
The ship's kitchen is a high-speed, almost dangerous flurry of activity. The waiters serve 1,700 people at a time during 2 separate dinners.
Including room service, breakfast, lunch, dinner, special functions, we serve about 10,000 meals throughout one day. So it's quite like a hurricane. Yeah.
Maitre d' Ken Byrne told me that during the dinner hours, the waiters pick up food at an average of 1 entree every 6 seconds.
They are trained to be aware of what's going on, right? They are trained to push you out of the way, right? Don't respect the maitre d'. You're fired. Always.
Byrne says everyone has to learn how to deal with the rocking.
When I go on land, I'm like this. And then I have a drink, I straighten up.
102 waiters run through the serving line, carrying as many as 22 dinners apiece. They serve 2 dining levels with the help of an escalator.
All right, of course, they're all used to that. They're all used to that moving. You know, some new guys, stuff happens there, right? Believe me.
When it's ugly outside,